All right, so I'm here in El Paso, where we leave tomorrow for Mexico. Just doing a little shakeout 4-mile run, get acclimated, and also enjoying the beautiful scenery that El Paso has to offer. It's awesome out here. So our drive to Urique was an 11-hour drive, and getting through Mexico was a long journey, but luckily I had these amazing people, David, Marco, and Connect, and they made the drive much easier. So we finally made it to the Copper Canyons, and it was absolutely amazing. The Copper Canyons are about 6 times as long as the Grand Canyon, so we literally drove for hours with these canyons in our background. All right, so we made it really long drive, and we're staying tonight, and look at this view. This is where I'm sleeping. And this is the view of the canyon. It's awesome. So once we got there, we went for a run, and it was just gorgeous. We only ran down about a mile into the canyon, but in that mile, we went down 800 feet in 1 mile. So it is a deep, deep canyon. All right, so we're gonna that is where I'll be sitting for the next hour and a half with my friend David, and we were told it's gonna be cold, so I got my jacket on. I'm excited to get down there. So we only had 18 miles to get to Urique, and it took us an hour and a half. This is the main street in Urique. So one of the reasons I went down there was to honor the memory of Micah True, also known as Caballo Blanco, who was in the book Born to Run. And while I was there, I got to meet one of his friends, Ted, who gave me some advice from El Caballo Blanco himself.
Okay, so Caballo came to me in a dream, and he said this. He said, spend your time in the moment. Don't forget to do that. When you lose your mind, remember that, and you're back.
So unfortunately, looking over my footage at the end of the day, at the end of the race, I realized that the audio quality was basically non-existent. I had my headphones in when I was recording it, and it basically inadvertently caused all the audio to basically be lost. There are some clips that have audio, but most of them don't. I was also very conservative on the amount of footage that I took. I didn't take a lot of footage. I was worried about my phone dying, which had happened in the Grand Canyon, and I wasn't able to contact anybody. And that, at the time, the Grand Canyon scared my family because they weren't able to contact me, and I was gone for quite some time. So I was really conservative, and I didn't even start recording until here, which is mile 18. And it is just quite impressive, the amount of climbing that you're doing there. So there in that last shot, I had climbed about over 2,000 feet, and we were still maybe halfway up the canyon. And here I am, I had made it to the peak of the second climb, which was the hardest run in the entire race. I had done 3 miles, and it'd probably taken me almost an hour to do so. And then finally, here I am at I think this was like mile 43 of the race. I had made it so far. Everything was going well. My fuel plan was fine. My stomach was fine. But my legs had just given out at this point, and I was just basically kind of walking from here on out. I had a couple more miles. I had only a couple more climbs. I knew I could do it, but my body was just kind of giving out on me at this point.
Alright, so all I gotta do is get to right there, and that's basically the last climb. So I'm walking across this last bridge, which means I have 1 mile to go. I feel good and beat up at the same time.
Oh, at that last mile, I started running. I had kind of been basically walking and running for the last 15 miles, and in all honesty, a lot of that was walking instead of running. But when I got to the town, it was the last half mile. I was kind of running at that point, and I wanted to get the video of coming into town, but the quality and the audio wasn't that great. But here I am finishing the race. So I finished in 10 hours and 50 minutes, which was about 5 hours faster when I did the comparable run of the rim to rim to rim in the Grand Canyons, and I was really happy about that. And it was just such an amazing experience to be there, meet so many people, and honor the memory of Micah True, also known as Caballo Blanco.